Next slide, please.
Yo guys, it's your boy has descended into a debatably unkept trim Niran here, and welcome to FTW. This of course is the series where I bring to you the best and more frequently the worst of what football has to offer during the course of the last 7 days. And once again, civilians in the UK are having to get used to lockdown living again. It genuinely feels like we've gone back in time all the way to March. Thanks to some glorious leadership. It says a lot when the zip line in this picture is the most competent thing involved. But thankfully, all elite sport will be continuing, which is a shame for Sheffield United fans. Apologies for that, you guys not involved in that bracket. We've now had more lockdowns in the UK than they've got points in the Premier League. Not surprising when they've got the defensive capabilities of a US government building. But at least the Wembley lasagna's looking good now. Alright, Marcus Rashford's still helping them children with the food and that. It doesn't feel like any amount of sport is going to keep me occupied though. And it certainly isn't if Liverpool are going to keep being It's already bad enough. An early lob from Saints striker Danny Ings dealt Liverpool yet another blow in the title race in the form of a 1-0 defeat. Now, he used to play for Liverpool, so technically it's kind of our goal as well, you get me? We are bad, alright? Let's not get away from this. As soon as we see 2 banks of 4, we're finished. Any of the players arrive at Canary Wharf and it's PTSD o'clock. So I'd like to make a deposit, if that's okay. Yeah, of course. So you just need to draw it out to NatWest Bank. Bank, did you just say, I don't know if I can... Sir, just give me the check. Mohamed Salah is looking like a shadow of his former self since Christmas, and this poor run has now gifted Manchester United the advantage in the title race. Corona's looking kind of bad still. I reckon we null and void the season right here, just for safety, mate. Listen, lads, I've had enough. I've seen the light. You've seen Fat Frank. Now, feast your eyes upon Fat Jurgen. Feast probably wasn't the best use of terminology there. Well, you know, I think they had the advantage, really. The grass seemed pretty long, and our muscle fibers are bigger than theirs, so it takes longer for them to warm up. And ultimately, we were just massively poor. Trent Alexander-Arnold dropped an absolute disaster class, to be honest. I don't think I've seen as many crosses sliced into a box. It's not a good thing here, Trent. I know that's unusual. That's what you're usually into, apparently. We need an actual centre-back. We can't just take the Sunday League approach and put whoever's the loudest in the back four. But with all that being said, Southampton were genuinely very good in this football match. They came out and attacked us in the first half, unlike West Brom and Newcastle, which I quite like. They sat back in the second half, but that's effective against Liverpool, clearly, so why wouldn't you? And it's not like we then created a lot of chances in the second half either. The result meant a hell of a lot to Southampton manager Ralph Hasenhüttl. He collapsed to the ground upon the final whistle. We can, however, reveal what he was really thinking. Fucking hell, my wife's gonna kill me. I've left the oven on. Defeat at St Mary's was compounded for Liverpool fans by a controversial win for Manchester United against Aston Villa. I heard 2020 was better anyway. Listen, let's just go back. Now, the controversy came in the form of the eventual winning penalty that was awarded to Manchester United. A lot of fans thinking that he'd violently tripped himself over with his own secondary leg. He's fouled himself to win himself a penalty, and I can guarantee Graham Souness still wouldn't be rating it. Douglas Luiz, who supposedly gave away the penalty, was not best pleased. He took to Twitter to rant about it in Portuguese. But I'm gonna bring you a controversial opinion here. There's contact, okay? I know you can stop booing me. There was contact between Pogba's boot and Douglas Luiz's leg before he then tripped himself over. Now, I don't want this to be a penalty, okay? But in the modern era where any molecular contact whatsoever becomes a penalty, it kind of has to be given. What I will say is there needs to be consistency. How can this be a foul and then Azpilicueta getting choke slammed against United isn't a pen? We even saw a goal from Anthony Martial. For crying, what even is this year? This was supposed to be better. Elsewhere in Manchester City piled the pressure onto Frank Lampard after a 3-1 victory against the Blues. I cannot stress this enough. This is some of the worst football I have ever seen from Chelsea Football Club. This win percentage stat does not look good on Frank Lampard. I know Chelsea are hardly the same Chelsea they were under Jose Mourinho, for example, in 05-06, but to be bottom, you're behind Andre Villas-Boas, and I'm convinced he's worked on farms since managing Chelsea. At least he's got some advice for Chelsea fans.
As manager of Chelsea Football Club, I've called this press conference to announce that we want you, the fans at home and abroad, to support someone else.
And I would support somebody else as well if I had to witness Timo Werner week in, week out. I feel bad for the kid. He's not adapting to English life whatsoever, and it was an awful performance. He then managed to injure himself kicking the corner flag at the end of the game. If I blow out my ACL now, I'll never have to play for this team again. My new favourite Twitter admin from Spartak Moscow tweeted about the game. An angry Chelsea fan brought up the gap between themselves and the top of the Russian league, to which Spartak Moscow replied saying, "You're only 3 points clear of Arsenal. You're worried about the wrong gap." It's a shithousery award for the Russian side. In fairness, I rinsed Timo Werner. Thiago Silva wasn't that much better. It's crazy. Arsenal genuinely hit Chelsea with an Uno reverse card. Could this actually be the end of Frank Lampard? Listen, I'll be real. If his name was Franco Lampardello, I think he would have been sacked by now. But because he's a Chelsea legend and he did well last season under the transfer embargo, I think he's earned some more time. Plus, he could turn it around easily. The league is stupid this year. We were having this exact conversation about Mikel Arteta 2 weeks ago. Manchester City didn't care. They were distracted by the brilliant performances of Ruben Diaz. Meanwhile, Jeff Shreves was distracted by something else altogether.
Started to pick up results of late. How important is you get something here against a fellow Big Six club?
On the topic of a rejuvenated Manchester City, it's their left-back Benjamin Mendy who's getting all the headlines. Getting head is kind of what got him into this situation in the first place. The Frenchman broke COVID protocols to try and host a party for New Year's at his house, basically. Not only that, but he also reportedly requested big bum Latinas to be in attendance, and he wanted his agent to sort it out for him. Alright, so the drinks are ordered, the performers are sorted. Finally on the list, we've got Benjamin, I can't do this for you. Please though, I need the batty. Pause. That's a madness of a statement. It's a global pandemic, Benjamin. The bundas can wait. What is wrong with footballers in Manchester? Mason Greenwood, Phil Foden, Aaron Wan-Bissaka. And I'd love to have seen his reaction walking into the party if he'd got what he wanted.
I was like, damn nigga, what you doing out here with all this ass? Double cheeked up on a Thursday afternoon.
I don't know, maybe I can put my finger on it actually. He might just be following the advice of Pep Guardiola. In fairness, a sex scandal worked brilliantly for Aaron Wan-Bissaka. He got his form back, so maybe that's what he's going for. And therefore, I can only imagine there's going to be filthy stuff going on at Arsenal, given they've all collectively recovered their form. They absolutely slapped up West Bromwich Albion. It was bullying. I may have to call the NSPCC. We drew to these lot.
Are you not embarrassed? This is really embarrassing.
Kieran Tierney put in a wonderful performance in snowy conditions, aka a July afternoon up in Scotland. Emile Smith-Rowe and Bukayo Saka are on a mad one right now, really looking comfortable in the Premier League. Meanwhile, Ainsley Maitland-Niles is looking perhaps a little bit too comfortable at the moment. Elsewhere in Europe, and Maurizio Pochettino has been announced as the new Paris Saint-Germain manager. I already feel sorry for the guy. It's tough to take when your best player's out on the 11th of March for a 6th season in a row. There's a ridiculous story going on in Belgium right now, where Royal Antwerp striker Didier Lamkelzee turned up to training this morning wearing his team's biggest rival shirt in the form of Anderlecht, because he's trying to force through a transfer to move to Greek side Panathinaikos, and they wouldn't even let him in the training ground. Over in Germany, and there was this absolutely outrageous goal from Bayer Leverkusen midfielder Nadia Amiri, whilst in France there's slightly less high quality content going on between Brest and Nice.
Oh, goodness me, Lassana, what on earth was he doing?
January sees the start of a 6-month period where Lionel Messi is able to freely negotiate with other clubs on a Bosman-esque pre-contract signing. Our favourite Russian side, Spartak Moscow, felt brave. Unfortunately, it didn't really go to plan for them. Carrying on though on the Messi theme, and over in Brazil, Flamengo left-back and former Atletico left-back Felipe Luiz commented on Brazilian goalkeeper Diego Alves' Instagram, showing off a Budweiser that he'd been sent by Lionel Messi in the campaign that you'll have heard of last time, suggesting that if he'd have stayed in Spain for one more season, he could have opened a bar with just beers sent from Lionel Messi's goals. Personally, I think he could make it happen. Up in Scotland, and the Old Firm derby took place this week with Rangers reigning victorious over Celtic. They won 1-0 without having a single shot on target. Absolutely unbelievable. Tactical genius from Steven Gerrard. Meanwhile, Watford goalkeeper and part-time YouTuber Ben Foster conceded to Jamal Lowe and Swansea over the course of the weekend. He obviously films with a GoPro in the net for his YouTube videos, and Jamal actually celebrated by pointing directly into the lens of the GoPro. That is outrageous. It's a shithousery award for the forward. If you're looking for yet more VAR drama, then you can find that in the Carabao Cup semi-final between Brentford and Tottenham, where a goal for the Championship side was chalked off after Ivan Toney's knee was adjudged to be offside whilst he was on the floor. The one time where having no knee would have actually helped a footballing career. In Spain, an Atletico Madrid lost to a third-tier side in the Spanish Cup, having played on what I can only describe as a five-a-side pitch. And in the same competition, Celta Vigo shipped 5 to a football club from Ibiza. Benjamin Mendy would have had a brilliant time in this lineup. They've lost to a team that's veins are made up solely of watered-down vodka. 70% of this squad was just EDM music. At least Wayne's been able to follow in his brother Gary's footsteps now. Cristiano Ronaldo surpassed Pele's total goal tally during the course of the last 7 days, to which Pele once again promptly changed the number of goals he scored in his Insta bio. I can now confirm, having included the goals I scored at secondary school, my total is now 3,612. But it's what you've all been waiting for. Over in Romania, and to provide some context, former Italian and Middlesbrough striker Massimo Maccarone shattered Steaua Bucharest hearts when he scored against the Romanian side in the UEFA Cup several years ago. He's been hated there ever since, and this week decided to buy shares in their rival club Dinamo Bucharest. I love it. Over in Morocco, and this pitch seems a little bit on the waterlogged side. League 2 proved why it's such a wonderful division in the last week as well.
Back it is with Pollock. Pollock pushes it back to Sam Russell. I think there's a few scouts watching Matthew Pollock today.
Don't think those scouts are gonna be watching after a pass like that. Meanwhile, over in Ethiopia, and we saw this absolute screamer of a finish.
Nasser as well in the box looking to get possession. That's a hard shot. And it's in the net! Oh, Abtamu has scored from the most unexpected and the most difficult of situations.
Now that it's time for still a 0-0, and you guys know the score by now, this is a segment of the show where I bring to you the best of Sunday League and amateur football. And we've all been there, right? You're playing at whatever level, you're getting sent to the shops on multiple occasions, and you feel like just giving it all up. Well, this guy has. On to the weird stuff though now. Over in Germany now, and have you ever seen a more fiery exchange at a futsal match?
Stach auch in der zweiten Hälfte nicht durch allzu viele Torraumszenen. Hier ist es Marcel Großkreuz, der von seinem Mitspieler abgedrängt wird durch den Notausgang. Und wer kommt herein? Nicht der Weihnachtsmann, nicht der Nikolaus, auch nicht der Osterhase. Irgendein aufgebrachter Passant, der Marcel Großkreuz an die Wäsche will.
Closer to home, and Everton fans seem transfixed by the tradition of finding out what Alex Iwobi has had for his breakfast via his Snapchat story. I don't know how this has become a trend either. Over in Asia, and someone's taken Paul Pogba's penalty run up to a whole new level. And finally, over in Russia, Rubin Kazan released a video of their squad and their manager, Leonard Slutsky, covering All I Want for Christmas by Mariah Carey.
More when you could ever know.
And it's the most glorious thing I think I've ever seen. But that is going to wrap up football this week, and I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, then feel free to slap a like on the video and subscribe if you're new to the channel. You can also follow me on social media. It is at @theofficialfng on Twitter and on Insta. But it's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a wonderful day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.